Okay, let us do a small recap. Hope my screen is visible. So I have to check this every day because my screen is visible, right? I want to ensure that my setup is clear before proceeding. Okay, then let's continue. So yesterday we have started discussing about Java switch statements, right? Let us do a small recap on this topic. So the Java statement is going to execute one statement from multiple conditions. We will have multiple conditions. Out of that multiple conditions, only one statement can be executed if you follow the right syntax. So please be informed that if you follow the right syntax by keeping the break statements at the right cases, only one statement is going to get executed. You can check yesterday's videos if you have any doubts on this. So follow the right syntax. Because the cases and the break condition is optional, right? So it is not necessary to keep the break statement in every cases, right? If you are not keeping any break statement, it means all the cases are going to get executed, including the default. So that's why I have mentioned this particular line. And after that, it is just like if else if ladder statement, right? So the switch statement works with byte, short, integer. Okay, I'm sorry about this. We cannot work with long data type. The switch statement is going to work with byte, short, integer, string, and we have a character data type. And it is not going to work with boolean data type, long data type, float data type, and double data type. Today I will show you some examples to justify this particular line. Okay, no worries about this. So the switch statement tests equality of the variable against the multiple values. I think this line is also very clear. So the typical syntax, this is how the syntax looks like. Which keyword, and we will have an expression, right? And there will be multiple cases within the switch block. So case 1 value, case 2 value, case 3, and the default case. Right. So this default case code will get executed if none of the cases are getting satisfied, then the default case is going to get executed. The default the instructions under the default keyword will get executed if none of the cases are getting matched with the given expression. As simple as that. Right. So today we will look into a few more examples. I am going to prepare a cheat sheet. Cheat sheet is nothing but a simple sheet where we can able to remember everything by looking at the sheet. So I will keep it very simple. Java switch state. Okay, the typical syntax is going to look like this. So we are going to have a switch keyword. The switch keyword is going to accept what? Expression. Right? And so there will be a case, and this case can be anything. So let me keep the cases 1, right, followed by a colon, and under this you can keep any statement. So to keep it very simple, I'm using System.out.println, right, statement. The statement is the statement itself, and a break, right, and a default statement, System.out.println, and break. That's it. A typical syntax of the switch statement. Right? Let us understand each and everything. So when you talk about this expression is there, right? So the switch statement is accepting an expression. So this expression we can use only, there are 4 primitive data types that will be accepted by this expression. What does it really mean? Like for example, if I say a equal to expression equal to 100, right? So this is going to be 100 is a value. It can be a byte type, or it can be a short type, it can be integer type. Because it is an integer number, so it can be a byte type. You can represent this value with the byte type, or you can represent this with the short type, right? Or you can also represent this with the int type, right? But you cannot represent this with long type. Long type is not possible to be used inside this expression, right? So let me take an example. For example, if I say integer expression equal to 100, I'm using a switch statement which is going to accept an expression. In this case, the expression itself. So let me keep it as number to avoid some confusion. Integer number equal to 100. So the switch is going to accept this particular variable number itself. So this is the switch block, a opening parenthesis and a closing parenthesis. Inside the switch block, we are going to have a case. Let me take the case 100. System.out.println statement. Break. And a default case. Default case. Let me copy and paste it here to save some time. Very simple switch case, a switch block. Inside the switch block, we have a case and we have a default. We are using a default keyword because if this case is not getting satisfied, definitely the default keyword, the statements under the default keyword are going to get executed. As simple as that, right? If I run this, what is the output? Right? If I run this, what is the output? Just a warm up, you can answer it. Yeah, statement is the output. Exactly, Ganesh. Statement itself is the output. I don't think we need further discussion on this. Compilation is successful. So statement is the output. Because the value 100 will be this number is representing a value which is 100 itself, right? So indirectly switch is accepting the value 100 because number itself is a variable that is storing a value 100, so it is just like 100, right? So once the switch is the expression of the switch statement is a number, like in this case it is 100, right? The matching case is the case 100 itself. Yes or no? This 100 is getting matched with this case, right? All the instructions inside under this case will get executed. Those case is what statement itself. It is going to print the statement itself. Yes or no? Right? So if I use integer valid, let us say that if I'm using a byte, now tell me it is valid or not. Yeah, Jyoti. Jyoti, yes, correct. Jyoti, incorrect. This is valid, Ganesh. Yes, you are correct. Yes, Darshini, valid. Let me run this. So this is also a valid combination. So byte is valid, int is valid. Let me use short. This is valid or invalid? So now I have just replaced that particular byte data type to short. Valid or invalid? Yes, Ganesh, it is valid. So let us execute this statement. So we are getting the output. So this is also going to be a valid statement, right? But the moment when I place long here, the moment when I place the data type as long, now tell me is it valid or invalid? So I haven't explained this to you, right? I am just checking your awareness. That's it. The moment when I place long, are we going to, the compiler is going to compile this successfully or does it throw any error? Can you answer this? Is the reason 1 or 8 to 11? Okay. Is this valid or invalid? Long. Anyone? People are saying valid or not? That's what. So the yes, invalid. So because my question itself is in contracts, that's why people are saying invalid. Okay, let us test everyone are with Shashwant is saying valid, but everyone are saying it is invalid. Okay, so it is invalid, incompatible types. I will tell you why. Right, this is a typical case where the compiler is throwing an error. The error is saying that it is an incompatible type. Right. So from this error, I can conclude that the data type that we are going to use in the switch expression, the data type that we are going to use in the switch expression, if it is a numerical, if it is an integral data type, only integer, byte, and short data types are accepted. Long data type is not accepted. This is the typical example. Making sense? So this is one of the takeaway that you should remember. Long is not accepted to be used as an expression in the switch cases. Right? Are you getting it? Long is not accepted. Right? So let me include this in the notes. Scenario 1. Right? I can say that among all the integral types, integer, short, and byte data types are accepted in the switch statement expression. The long data type is not going to be compatible with the expression. One scenario. And the second takeaway is, so if long is not accepted, right? So float is also not accepted, right? Double is also not accepted, right? Only three possible integral data types that are accepted are integer, byte, and short. These are the accepted data types. Apart from these three, the remaining three integral data types, which is double, long, and float, they are not accepted. Why they are not accepted? So if I am mentioning it here, float means the value should also be represented in the form of float. Let me say that 100.25. 100.25 f. Let me remove this. When I say 100.25 f, this value is representing the floating point data type. Yes or no? Right? So the case should also carry the same floating point data type in this case. Right? So this is incompatible. If I run this, we will get an error. See, incompatible. This is the straight conclusion. It says possibly lossy conversion from float to which? Float to int. Right? Can we conclude that apart from long, float is also not possible and double is also not possible? Yes or no? This is the proof. This is the proof that I have. Apart from the long data type, float data type is also, float and double data type is also not compatible. Double data types are also not compatible. So this is the example for this. Making sense? Are you all with me? Are you able to understand? So far, so good. Say something in the chat box. Are you with me? Everyone? Okay. Okay, guys. Let's keep this session interactive, okay? Okay, I'm acknowledging everyone's. Okay. Now let us take another example. So there are two more data types that are pending to be pending to be checked, which is a boolean data type. Let us see if boolean data type is acceptable or not. I'm using boolean and a number instead of number. Let us take a meaningful name. Boolean is accepted. Variable name can be anything. Okay, let us keep it very simple. Boolean a equal to true. Right? In the switch statement, the expression is being changed to a. Right? And here I am saying what? In the case, the value of the case is also true. Right? Now tell me, is this accepted or not accepted? Now tell me, do we get a compilation error or this is okay to be executed? I mean, the compilation will be successful. Any idea about this? Just for the awareness purpose, I'm asking you, but I will explain you. But try to give answers from your end. That's Chaitanya says error. What about others? Don't know. Compilation error. Okay, let us see this. Right. So this is not be. This is also not going to be compactable, guys. Right. We get compilation errors for this. See? Boolean cannot be converted to int. So Boolean data type is also not accepted to be included in the expression, especially the switch expression. Because Boolean data type, so actually we can use this Boolean data types in the if-else ladder, right? If ladder, we that particular if condition is going to accept only Boolean statements, right? Over there it is accepted, but in the switch cases, the Boolean data types are also not accepted. As simple as that. Let me keep this example. Boolean data type can't be used as an expression in the switch statement. We get compilation error. This is the typical example. What is the error? Lossy conversion. Boolean cannot be, not lossy conversion, Boolean cannot be converted to into switch. Okay, and one more data type is pending, character data type. Right? So when I say character data types, the value has to be in a single quotations. You can represent any letter, you can store any letter with a variable, but the letter has to be enclosed with the single quotations. Let us say that the letter is Java. The letter is J. Letter is J. In this case, I'm just using J. If you know, just answer me compilation error, or is it okay to be, will it get executed? The character data type is accepted, guys. Character is accepted in switch statements. Yes, it will get executed. The conclusion is it is going to get executed. We will not face any issues with the character data. Yeah, everyone are. Let us check with the compiler itself for the better understanding. Java C space test Java. 1 minute. Okay. It is getting used. So I need to include that any character if I want to represent, we have to ensure that it should be enclosed with single quotes. Okay, that's why we got it. So character data type is accepted completely. Making sense? Please be informed that the character data type can be used as an expression in the switch statements. So this is the example. So the conclusion is, so when you are talking about the expression, the valid data types are, right? The valid data types can be, what are they? Byte, short, integer, and character. Under primitive data types, these are the valid data types. All these data types are valid. Yes or no? All these data types are valid. So what are the invalid data types? You cannot use these data types, which are nothing but we have such data types like long, float, double, and boolean. Right? So these data types are invalid data types. Invalid data types for expression. These are the valid types for expression. So this is the first conclusion. Under our cheat code, these are the valid and these are invalid ones. So I have also shown you the proof, and we have prepared some programs, and I have shown those programs as a proof to you. Right? Now the second is, so this part is very clear for us, yes or no? The expression part is very clear for us, right? Now we have a part called case part. Let us understand about the behavior of the case part, right? So case is going to, like, we need to include a value for the case. In this case, the case itself is having a constant. Try to understand. Only constants are accepted next to the case. If you want to place any value next to the case, you can place only constants. What does it really mean is, right? When I say integer a equal to 100, right? I cannot place a here because a is a variable, yes or no? In this case, the case itself is having a value which is not a constant. It should be a constant. Now in this case, it is a variable. Right? When I run this, I will get an error. See, we are getting something like, expected. Let me copy this error. So we are getting this error. Indirectly, it means it is not going to accept what 1 minute. It's not the actual error. It's my mistake. 1 minute. Okay. See, so this is the actual error. Constant expression required. It is saying as, please include the constant expression. It is compiler is very clear with the error. It is saying please include the constant expression, whereas the expression that we have included here is what? The variable expression. It says case A can accept only constant, but here we have included what? We have included a variable. That's why it is not possible. Making sense? Right? So I can use 100. So this is a clear constant, direct value. This is accepted. I cannot use a variable because variable is again it is a identity for a value again. Right? This is not accepted. So this case is going to accept only constants, not the direct variables. Making sense? Right? Now let me copy this. The case keyword is going to accept the constants, not the variable. If you place a variable next to the case keyword, will throw the following error. So this is the following error. Right? So now you tell me if this is going to get executed or not. Now it's your time. Now you tell me if this statement, I mean this particular program is going to get compiled or not. Now you tell me. Think and tell me. So under the case, I have used a variable. Do we get a compilation error or will it get executed perfectly? Chaitanya says errors. What about others? Think and tell me, guys. Just one statement. Why just one statement? Chaitanya says variable. Okay. Rashwant has an answer. Why? Darshini says will not execute. What about Raji and Ganesh? Ganesh is out of coverage. Ganesh? Okay, let us do the execution and we will decide who is correct and who is wrong. Okay. Java C space test or Java. No compilation error. Output is statement. Previously, I was telling you guys, so whenever I include a final keyword next to the variable, right, the variable itself will become constant. Yes or no? Final keyword, whenever you're using a final keyword next to a variable, is going to represent the variable as a constant. You remember or not? So we have a. So if there is no final keyword, definitely you are right. You all guys are right. You all guys are correct, because if there is no final keyword, definitely the case A is representing a direct variable. But when you use the final keyword, right, even though this A is representing a variable, but the final keyword will ensure that this A is not a variable anymore. It will be converted to the constant. It is same like compiler will treat this as a constant, not the variable. We are seeing it as case A, but compiler will see it as case 100. Compiler will treat this as a constant, but we see it as variable because of this final keyword. Making sense? When you use final keyword, all the variables will be converted into the constants. Making sense? Everyone? Darshini? We have seen these examples previously. Darshini, Jyoti, Raji. Yeah. So this is the one of the what we call it. So you need to think a lot. You need to develop that intuition, right? Please be informed that the final keyword usage next to the variable will always be treated as a constant. This is a typical example. This will always be treated as a constant. We as a developers, we usually recognize this as a variable, but the compiler will recognize this as a constant. Why it is going to recognize this as a constant? Because of this final keyword. That is the power of final keyword. Making sense? So this is one of the examples that we should remember. And let us do one more thing. Now you tell me what is output. Just checking if you and me are on the same page. Okay, this is not a difficult question, very easy question. Answer me what is output. Okay. Let me make some changes. This is statement 1. This is statement. So what could be the output? Statement 1 or statement 2? Very straight question. Statement 1 or statement 2 or error? Darshini says statement 2. Good, Darshini. Good. What about Jyoti, Raji, Sashwan? Jyoti and says statement 2, statement 2. Okay, I don't think we need much explanation on this, because the 100, here this which is accepting an expression, the value of the expression is 100 itself, right? So no case is matching with the value 100. There is only one case. That case has a value 200. So it is not matching, yes or no? If it is not matching, then it will directly execute the default statement. This will be executed. That's why the output is statement. Making sense, everyone? Yeah. Thank you for your answer. Someone is missing here. Everyone are there. The Shashwant is missing. Shashwant is also there. Who is missing? Ganesh is also there. Darshan is missing. Darshan is also there. Okay. So now let us go back to the cheat code. We can conclude that the case you can represent only constants next to the case keyword. It will not accept the variables. So direct variables, you are not supposed to use the direct variables. You can use constant, and this is a typical constant. This is also a constant. Final integer a equal to 100. But this is also a constant, and direct values like 1 is a constant, and you can also use a single value like a, and you can also use what? You can also like use like 200. This is also a constant, right? These are the typical examples. Making sense? Okay. So in this case, the system dot, every time we are printing system.out.println, right? So it is not, ideally it is not necessary to system use this particular statement. We can use any statement, guys. For example, integer a equal to 100, I am saying, let us say that this case is accepting the value 100 itself, right? So instead of statement, what I am trying to do is, if I can also use a conditional expression. You can use anything, right? You can also use a conditional expression after the case. So once this case is getting mapped with the right expression, right? So you can keep any kind of statements under this case, not only system.out.println. It can be any logic, any business logic, you can keep it here, right? For the time being, let me keep this as true, right? Println. Okay. Now you tell me what is the value, what could be the answer starting from here. Teacher A, and we have a switch block. The switch block is the length of the switch block is the length of the switch block, and under this we have a case, matching case is there, and under this case I have also placed an if condition, right? So what is the possible output? Tell me, is there any difficulties in this question? Answer, guys. Output, I'm asking you the output. 200, no? Very straight. Yes, 200, Jyoti, Chaitanya. Sorry. Yes, 200. So the idea here is why I am using this kind of if keywords. It is not necessary that only system.out.println can be considered as a instruction. You can use anything. You can build any logic under this case, right? So that is an idea, right? Again, you can also keep the else block, right? You can include any kind of business logic. That is an idea here, right? I can use it as false, right? I can keep a statement here, system.out.println, right? Now you tell me what is the answer. What is the answer? That's very simple. Just look for the matching case. If the case is matched, just perform the evaluation. Right? Chaitanya says 100. What about others? Yes, that's correct. Answer is going to be 100 itself, right? Nothing else to be. Yeah, yes, correct, correct, correct. Yes, yes, everyone, yes, you are correct. 100. Very straightforward. So let us go back to the cheat sheet. So I was telling you what? Okay. What can I say here? The statement can be anything, and even the complicated business logics are accept. Business logics can be traceable. Making sense? Right? Now you tell me whether this break is a mandatory thing or an optional thing. Is it necessary? Is it mandatory or is it a compulsion for us to use this break statement? If you are not using break statement, do we get any errors? Tell me. Mandatory or optional? Yeah, no sir means it is an optional. So break statement is not mandatory. Even if you are not using the break statement, the compiler will not have any issues. But the problem is if you are not using break statement, all the cases will get executed, including the default one. If you are using it, the control will be transferred outside the switch loop. The control will be kicked out of the switch loop. As simple as that. So I can also say that this break statement is an optional statement here. Break statement is an optional keyword in the switch block. It is not a mandatory or there will be no compiler checks. As simple as that. Right? So now you tell me, default is a mandatory or optional? Is it necessary that the default keyword needs to be used? This is also optional. Even though if you're using it or not using it, it will not affect the compilation. Yes or no? This is another typical conclusion, guys. Default keyword is also an optional thing, right? So the same theory I can use it for the default keyword as well. Statement, and I can use instead of and. Both are optional. Yes or no? Right? And again, is it necessary to use case also? For example, let us say that we are just thinking this from the compilation point of view, okay, compiler point of view, not keeping any statements under the switch block. It is a switch block, but it has no instructions inside. An empty switch block. But do we get any compilation error because of this? That is the question. If you are not getting any compilation errors, this is also an optional. But there is no point of keeping a statement like this. But we are trying to understand the program from the compilation point of view. Whether the compilation is going to throw the error or not. Whether the compiler is going to accept or not, right? So let us execute this. So compiler has no issues, but the output is blank. Why? Because there are no instructions to be executed. So this is also possible. Yes or no? Right? You may be wondering why we need to discuss all this, because we need to understand a particular program from the compiler point of view, whether the compiler is going to throw the error or not. So this is how you face question. So the question will be like this. The return test, for the return test, the question will be like this. And the options will be like compilation error. Second option will be like blank output, and the third option will be something like 100. Right? Fourth option will be like none of the above. Right? Which one is the right answer here? Tell me, guys. You are feeling like these questions are very easy to be answered. Yeah, 2 is out, blank output. Right? This kind of questions are expected. That's why I'm discussing all these things in a deep way. Okay, try to pay some attention here. So the output is the blank output. The answer is 2, because the cases are optional inside the switch block. However, it is meaningless to prepare a program like this. It's not going to make any sense. And I do understand that it is not going to make any sense. But from the compiler's perspective, whether this program is going to get executed or not, that is the question. That understanding is important. That's why I am, I'm just explaining the program from this perspective. Making sense? Now we have not using any expression in the switch block. Is it accepted or not? Just I am checking your awareness. If you don't know, just you can answer don't know. But if you feel like, okay, there will be a compilation error, you can answer whatever is coming into your mind. So I'm not keeping any expression in the switch block. Switch block is empty here. Do we get any error, or compilation will be successful? So in this switch block, previously it was A. Now I have removed that. I have deleted that A. Now I'm asking you whether the compilation will be successful or we get any kind of error. Very simple question. Error. Okay, let us execute this error. So error, it says illegal start of expression. So by this error we can conclude that expression is not an optional. It is mandatory to keep an expression, include an expression inside the switch condition. Making sense? Yes. This is what is the error that we have? This is the error that we have. What is this again? So this is the error. Okay. Problem 2. We get error in the above example as the expression is mandatory and the compiler will throw an error if it is left empty. Making sense? Right? So from this diagram, it is very clear that these are the valid expressions and these are the invalid expressions. The valid expressions are in green, the invalid are in red. Right? And when you talk about cases, you can have only constants. Right? So this is a typical example of final is also a constant. That's why it is accepted. It cannot be, compiler is not going to treat this as a variable because of this final keyword. Right? And the break statement is an optional and the default is an optional. And this whole set of instructions inside the switch statement is an optional. Right? This whole set of instructions inside the switch statement, this is also an optional. Right? This is also an optional. right? But keeping an expression is mandatory. This is compulsion. It is mandatory, and the compilation will fail if the expression remains empty. So this is mandatory. Let me put this in yellow. Mandatory. So a simple sheet diagram. By looking at this, you can able to understand what does the switch blocks are going to do. Actually, what are the compilation errors? What are the possible primitive types? What are the non-possible primitive types? And right, making sense, everyone? Right now, I will give you a small piece of program. If you are able to answer this, then I could say that you are so close in so good at solving problems, right? Because you need to think a lot before even solving this, right? uh, Try to answer this, okay? Take some time, try to answer this. This is the program. This was asked in a Java certification examination. Okay, so let me put the problem in the right. Everyone, answer this to me. We will also do the tracing part. If you're not getting answers, I will give you the clear-cut explanation for this program, but try to answer it from your end. Take some time. Let me give you some insights. We have a variable. The switch statement is accepting an variable, and we have the matching case. Now you solve this and tell me. Let me know what is the possible answer for this. Everyone. Actually, previously when I was taking Darshini says 110. Whatever it is, just post your answers. We will discuss. We will do a lot of tracing. Ganesh says something. Okay, 100, 120, 130. What about Jyoti says 110? Shashwat. It's good that you are answering. 110, 210, 310. Is anyone is left to be answered? Chaitanya did not answer. Content. Let us see who is correct. Everyone has to buy a chocolate for the person who is right here. Okay. This time you people are going to buy a chocolate for the person who has answered right. First, okay, compilation is successful. 100, 120, 130, 130. Who is that clever guy? 100. Give a big round of applause to Ganesh. Is there any symbol for big round of applause? Any clap symbol? Okay, Ganesh, this is for you. So Ganesh is right. Okay, everyone buy a chocolate for Ganesh and courier it to him. Okay, we will do the tracing part. Shall we go? Shall we start? Everyone? Yes? No? Okay. Now focus. From this example, you will get a lot of insights on this switch statement. All your doubts will be cleared from this example. Pay some attention. I will keep it very slow. Right? You might be thinking, are we not going to solve any kind of problems on the switch statement? But it's not necessary to solve big problems on switch statements. We will start solving problems after understanding the iterative statements, which is for loop and while loop. Okay, that idea, and we can build an intuition from that from that particular understanding. Especially understanding iterative statements will be little tricky. Will take some time. From there, we will start analyzing how to approach a problem. Okay, so let us do this. So compilation point of view, there are no errors since I have done the compilation. No errors. Let us start directly about the execution. Right. Every time the main thread will be created by the JVM. Main thread will get access to what? It will get access to main method. Now focus, guys. Now focus, guys. Everyone focus. What is the first instruction we have? Integer. Value 100 is assigned to the variable A, which is of integer type, right? So behind the scenes, what happens actually? A block of memory will be created by the JVM, right? And the value 100 will be stored on top of variable a. Value 100 will be stored, and this value 100 is represented by the variable a. Yes or no? Yes, right? Okay, the control will be transferred to the next line, right? So when you see the next line, the switch is accepting a variable, right? The variable is storing the value 100 again, right? Let me take a copy of 100. So the switch is accepting the value 100. So A is replaced with 100, right? So what is the matching case? This is the matching case, right? This 100 is matched with this 100. Yes or no? Right? So the control will be transferred directly from here to here. All the instructions has to get executed. What is the first instruction? First instruction says A plus equal to A, which is also called as what? This line can also be represented like A equal to A plus 10. Both are same. A plus equal to, we have discussed this while understanding about these operators. Remember or not? A plus equal to 10 means it is also called as A equal to A plus 10. Right? The same A plus equal to 10. This is how we can visualize. Right? Now let us do the substitution. Right? On the right hand side, we will perform the substitution. Right? RHS side. What is the actual value of A? 100. Right? 100 plus 10. Right? After evaluation, what we are going to get? New value of A is going to be what? A equal to what, guys? 110. Right? Don't you think that 100 will be replaced by 110? Yes, no? Right? Okay. Now the recent value of 110, value 110 is assigned to the variable A. Right? Now the control will be transferred from here to here. Right? When the System.out.println is coming into the picture, it means that something has to be displayed in the console. What is that something? In our case, the value has to be printed in the console. What is the value in the memory? 110. Right? So in the console, 110 will be printed. Right? So the control will be, so here we are not using break statement. If there is no break statement, what does it really mean? Right? This control will keep traveling till the end. No break statement to kick this control out of the switch block. There is break statement, this will directly kick it out of the switch block, but there is no break statement. All the cases has to get executed, right? Now case 200, under the case 200, and again we are saying what? A plus equal to 100. Right? A plus, let me change the color, A plus equal to 10, which can also be represented A equal to A plus 10. Right? So what is the latest value of A in the memory now? 110. So 110 plus 10, which is equal to A equal to 120. Yes or no? Right? This 120 will be replaced now. The memory, the existing 110 will be replaced with what? 120. Right? So memory modifications in the memory is completed. So the control will be transferred to what? It will be transferred to the next line. Again, System.out.println, print the value of A that is stored in the memory. What is the registered value of A? 120. Yes or no? The 120 will be displayed in the console. But after this, the control has to be transferred to the next line, case 300, because there is no break statement to stop this control. Again, it is going to encounter A plus equal to 10. A plus equal to 10. Right? As soon as it encounters A plus equal to 10, it is also called, it can also be like, it is just, this is how it can be understood by us, A equal to A plus 10, right? What is the value of A here? 120. 120 plus 10. What is 120 plus 10? 130. Right? The latest value of A is what? 130. So 130 will be replaced. 120 will get replaced with what? 130. Right? So the changes are done in the memory level, right? So the control has done some job here. Now the control will start transfer to A. So it is asking to print A. The latest value of A is what? 130. 130. It is printed, right? No break statement, right? The control has to go through all the instructions that is in the switch block. Default. The default again we are printing A itself, right? What is the latest value of A? 130 itself, right? That's why 130. What is the output that we have here? 110, 120, 130, 130. What is the output that we have here? 110, 120, 130, 130. Making sense? Clear? Everyone? Yes, no? Chaitanya, Ganesh, Darshini, are we good so far? Do you have any doubts in understanding this particular problem? I don't think so. Right? This is one of the famous certification questions. And it looks very straightforward, and that's what I'm saying. You have to do the evaluation from yourself with pen and paper. If you do that, you will not do any mistakes. Right? Can we look into another problem, another famous interview question? Shall we go? I hope we will answer this. Before that, so we are going to get disconnected now. Try to rejoin, okay? Everyone, don't assume that the classes are over. Try to rejoin when you get disconnected. Let's wait for 1 more minute, guys. Sorry for this. Ganesh, let us wait for Shashwant. Actually, in my previous classes, when I post a question in the chat box, right, one of the person, he always used to copy that chat and will paste that in the online compiler, right? So every time he gives the right answer. One day I found he is doing this kind of things behind the scenes. Right? Don't do that. If you are doing so, try not to do that. Shall we proceed? Next question. Before understanding this, let me remove this. Okay, we have everyone inside the lobby. Okay. So, when I say string A equal to 100, sorry, when I say string A equal to I, string B equal to hello, right? System.out.println. If I say A plus B, right? So this concept is called as the operator overloading in Java. We call this concept as what? Operator overloading. We have discussed this in the beginning of the Java classes. Some people are not aware of this. That's why I'm giving you the small hint. This is called as operator overloading. It means you can use the plus operator not only for the numbers in Java, you can also use for the words. So this is a typical string. String means, you may be confused with the word string. When I say string, it means a word. You can represent any sequence of characters in double quotations. Can be anything. You can represent your name also, guys. Balaji, right? Anything you can represent the double quotes. For character, we used to do the representation in what? In the single quotes. Yes or no? For character data type, use the single. But we have a string data type. This concept we will discuss in the future. For now, the idea here is, right, the basic understanding I'm giving you. You can add two strings. When you add two strings, the answer is going to be the combination of two strings. In this case, biology faculty. Right, if I run this, 1 minute. Am I doing any mistake? String A, B. Okay. An extra parenthesis was, that's why we got an error. So biology faculty. Right? Likewise, for example, if I try to add, this is an empty string, guys. This is an empty string. If I do the addition, empty string plus faculty, the output is going to be what? Faculty. With a space. I can remove the space also, no issues. Right? The idea here is I can do addition of two strings. This process is called as concatenation. Right? So when I say plus, this plus is an operator. We can use this operator only for the numbers mathematically. But in Java, you can use this plus operator to add two strings. In our example, just assume that the strings are nothing but the English words or a sequence of characters. You don't say words in Java. Instead of words, you say it as strings. Java will represent the sequence of characters with the data type string. So this is an idea. So let us look into few more examples. When I say output, what is output now? Yes, correct. Ganesh. What is the output now? Addition of two strings, addition of two words. It will just get concatenated, guys. Very simple. It will get what we call it as both will get attached. As simple as that. Concatenation. Are you able to understand? Why it is taking so much time for it to insert? Good faculty, yes, that's correct. Good faculty. What difficulty is there? Yeah, good. Yeah, good. I'm not trying to praise myself. This is for your understanding. Good faculty. Right? Internally, what happens? A equal to good, B equal to faculty, right? And we are using an addition operator here, right? This is an addition operator. So when I do A plus B, it is like good plus faculty. Right? The combination of good plus faculty, when it wants to, after this evaluation, output is going to be what? This double quotes will be removed. Good and up concatenation will happen. If there is any space, there is a space next to good. That's why I'm keeping a space. Good faculty. Right? Both the strings are going to get concatenated as simple as that. Right? So this is an idea here. Right? So by this idea, now you answer this to me. This is also a very good example. Very beautiful example. Right? So let me anyone can answer this. If you are answering this, you will get another chocolate. Shall I paste this in the notepad? Think and answer. Think as a beginner. Take pen and paper. Follow the what we call it as follow the tracing part from yourself. You do the tracing from the first line. Okay. Don't try to imagine. Imagination will not work here. Take pen and paper and do the tracing. If you're not getting it right, I'm going to help you out. No worry, don't worry about it. This is the last example before concluding this switch statement. Very good example. Take your time. For the people who are thinking how to do this, an empty string, an integer, and an empty string. I have a switch case. This switch case is doing what? The switch case is going to accept 100. The execution has to start from 100, right? And think about the flow and guess the output. Let us see who is going to give the correct answer. If you are not able to focus here, just put it in the chat box that it is not understandable, something like that. Okay, Shashwan says that's it. What about others? Everyone? Jyoti N, Jyoti, yes. And we have Chaitanya. 100 like that. 100, I like that. That's it. I like Java, that's it. Everyone are saying that's it. Ganesh has a different answer. Okay, shall I proceed with the compilation? Shall I go? Okay then. Getting answers from everyone. I like Java, that's it. Ganesh is so close to the answer, but I don't know why did he get 100 in the beginning. Right? Shall we do the tracing part? Focus here. You will get a lot of information about the switch statements from this particular program itself. Shall I proceed? Yes, no? Everyone? Are you with me? Don't feel confused. I will remove your confusion in some time. Shall we proceed? Okay. Please make sure that the session is interactive, or else learning Java will be a challenging test. That's why. It is very easy, but we make it as a challenging one. Java is very easy. I guarantee that. Okay. So this is our code. This is the program that has been prepared by me. Okay. So main thread will come into picture. Main thread will get access to what? It will get access to main method. Right? Sir, is it necessary every time that we need to approach any Java program with this tracing? This is necessary for us. We are beginners, so this type of tracing is always necessary. You do the same thing with pen and paper. Don't do imagination. Right? Do the things practically. The first statement is what? String. String is what? It is going to store a character. I mean, it is going to store a word. In our case, the word itself is what? Empty. A space. Right? So a memory block will be created, guys. Like the way it was created for integer float, like same like for the string also memory block will be created, right? And nothing will be stored here. Yes, a simple space is there. Like, I think you can imagine that. Right? Okay, instead of assuming it like this, let me do this. Okay. This space will be there. Only space is there. This double quotes is just for our understanding. Only space will be there. Okay. The control will be transferred to the next line. So next line is also storing a value here. 100 is being stored to the variable b. Yes or no? Right. In the second line, the second instruction says the value 100 is assigned to the variable b. 100. Right. So far no doubts we have. Right. And we are the JVM is going to encounter the switch statement. Right. So the switch statement is accepting a variable b. B is what? 100. Right. So what is the matching case of this 100? Matching case for the 100, this 100 itself, right? This is matched, right? Match, and the control will be transferred from here to here. Because first case itself is matching, so we don't observe much. First case itself is matching 100, right? So the instruction is a plus equal to I. A plus equal to I is also called as a equal to a plus I. Right? So what is the value that is stored inside an empty string, a simple space? So this can also be written like a equal to an empty string plus I, right? It is like Balaji faculty. So after concatenation, what we got? Balaji faculty. An empty string and the bird I. After concatenation, what will we get? What the answer is going to be? Right? This is not an empty. This is space. A space followed by the variable I. Right? Now I will be replaced by this empty string. Very simple. The empty string will be replaced by the new word I. Right? So the control will be transferred from here. Now the case 200, because there is no break statement. So next case is 200 itself. Next after this we have a plus equal to like. Now this time a equal to a plus like. So like can be written, we should return the like this, right? What is the value in the a? I, right? I plus what? Like. Yes or no? Concatenation. I plus like is going to be what? The answer is going to be I like. I like. Right? So the recent latest value of the string is rebuild as I space like. Yes or no? Right? The control will be transferred from here to now the case 300, and again we are having a instruction that says a plus equal to Java, and again a plus equal to Java is also called as a equal to a plus Java. What is the latest value of a in the memory? I like. Right? Now this will be rebuilt as I space like plus Java. This 3 will get concatenated. I like, if you after evaluation is going to be like I like Java, right? So in the memory, this I like will be again replaced with I like Java. I like what? I like Java, right? So after this, we have a direct statement that is going to print the value of a. So the value of a needs to be displayed in the console. Yes or no? What is the value of a in the what is the value of a that is stored in the variable a? I like Java, right? This I like Java, while it is getting displayed in the console, this quotations will be, double quotes will be removed. Right? This is the console. The console, it is going to print what? I. Don't worry about these cases. Just worry about the flow. I like Java, right? After this, since there is no break line, no break keyword, right? This is also, so this statement says that's it, right? So that's it will be printed without this double quotes. I like Java, and we have what? That's it. What we have in the console, I like Java, that's it. Do we have the same thing in the console? I like Java, that's it. Making sense, everyone? Everyone, are you feeling confused? If you are feeling confused, just repeat this video once again, you will get it. Darshini, Jyoti, Shashwant, Ganesh, I hope you are able to understand now. But you are very close to the answer, but you have included 100. No worries, we make a lot of mistakes. But to practice these two questions, so Ganesh is asking for one more difficult example. Okay, this time it is not going to be difficult example. I will keep one more, what we call it as, one more concept needs to be completed, the nested case statement. A case statement inside a case statement is called as a nested case statement. You practice this today. I will include the complicated examples tomorrow for the better understanding. There is nothing to be complicated. This is the complication that we have. This is the most complicated examples that I can say. Most complicated is the control flow. Most complicated control flow from the memory's perspective. If you practice this, You can handle any kind of switch blocks. Okay, this one and this one and this one. Right. Let me keep this in the notes. Certification problem one. Certification problem. Take pen and paper, practice this. You can, your intuition, your idea, the way you are approaching the, case statements, you will improve a lot on this. So this is the problem. Right. So one more topic needs to be discussed. So this is going to be very simple. Nested case statement. Nested switch statements. Very simple. A switch statement. If you nest another switch statement inside a switch statement, we call it as what? Nested switch statement. Prepare a switch statement inside another switch statement. We call it as nested switch statement. Right? So the syntax is just placing a switch inside the switch. We have this is typical switch statement. We have an expression. Right? Under this switch block will be opened and we have case 1 colon. Inside the case 1, if you keep another switch statement, which is called as what? The nested switch statement. This is also going to have an expression. Right? Open bracket, close bracket, case 2, break, and default case. Default case, break. Example, very simple example I am going to give you. Integer a equal to 100, switch a. Inside this case 100, let me keep it as case 200.